It would be great to have someone who could do our work for us, right? Someone to prevent us from making mistakes. Someone to assist with our routine professionally and allow us to devote our time to communicating with our closest people. If only we could get results without wasting our time for nothing. Unfortunately, it's impossible in real life. But wait, light Forex social trading. Spend your time doing what really matters to you.
Hi guys, good afternoon. 20 past 4 p.m. CET, 20 past 3 probably p.m. London or somewhere close. Piotr here, and we are going to make a crypto market update. The good thing or good reason to try to discuss the crypto is, of course, Bakkt exchange has launched, and the first trade went through earlier today. Actually, the exact was 2 minutes past 8 Eastern time at 10,115. That was the price. But before we start, as usual, guys, risk warning. Please bear in mind, trading crypto margin carries a high level of risk, may not be suitable for all investors. You can sustain a loss of some or all initial investment, so please do not invest the money you cannot afford to lose. Seek education, gain experience before risking real money. However, past performance doesn't guarantee future results. All right, we are approaching end of the third quarter, and we were discussing the Bitcoin from higher time frame perspective quite a few times already. I'm going to repeat few points here. Why I do think there was a, at least I've seen, I'm not sure about you, but I've seen many analysis. I would say some guys were trying at least to predict pump and dump right once. That the explanation was that the Bitcoin price went higher because of the Bakkt launch, and there is big dump is coming. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying there is not going to be the dump. But my way of thinking this time, it might be a little bit different, because it's not just paper trading that you can print as many as you want short positions, right? It's physically settled contract, so it looks completely different, and at some point in the future, I would say it might be that might work positive way towards the future Bitcoin price. Anyway, also there was just trying to find different reasons. We discussed previously that also the rising Bitcoin prices were connected to this rising trade tensions between US and China. Now, after the latest ECB rate decision, and I've been away for quite a few days. I haven't quite checked everything deeply yet, but what I've heard that based on the latest ECB rate decision, right, the banks will try to pass the cost towards the customers. I can't imagine to pay to the bank for that I can help the money with them, right? for myself, well, I don't know you guys, but I'm not gonna pay for that. And there could be many different ways to try to and I think it might be in Europe, and that might be very dangerous thing. We might see the bank run, and of course we all know that there is not enough money, right? If everyone wants to start to withdraw their money, it's not going to happen. And you know what? That's the last thing. Few weeks ago, that's the last thing I've been expecting. What might cause the problems and might be the you know, might create the next crisis. But well, it's getting bigger and bigger. Anyway, one of the way to try to you know, do something with your money once you are going to withdraw from the bank account. There are of course many different opportunities or chances, but one of them could be the Bitcoin simply, right? Anyway, so that's one thing. Let's discuss the possibilities we have on the chart. I've mentioned few times that I don't like what I've seen for the last 3 months, right? And looks like we have similar story, or we might have similar story this month, right? That's of course showing that there is some kind of the supply between 11 and 14. It's a monthly chart of Bitcoin, guys, okay? And yeah, I've been, even I'm big fan. I've mentioned a few times that I don't like it. Of course, there is other side of the coin, that even we had this upper shadows. Look, guys, that was June, that was July, and July, the price range in July was inside what happened in June. Then in August, it also was inside bar into what happened in July. And September, as of now, still 1 week left. It's inside bar to what happened. The range, yeah, the bulls were trying to hold the low. Bears are trying to be active a little bit higher. Looks like another inside bar here is possible from the monthly chart perspective. But I would like to play with that chart with a little bit different way. So please bear with me. That's what we have from the quarter perspective as of now. That's what we have from the quarter perspective as of now. And very tiny lower shadow, right? But if you remember, the previous quarter was strong rally, right? With a little bit of the upper shadow. So in that case, right? 1 second, guys. So that's the upper shadow of this quarter candle. All right, more or less. Okay, now better. So in that case, again, we might see upper shadow and lower levels, all right? But I'm more towards the doji candle, right? I'm more towards the doji candle, towards the end of the quarter. That might be the case. But I do expect some kind of the manipulation. I think it might be possible. You know, it's still very young market, right? So it's much easier using the smaller amount of the money to try to somehow manipulate the market, create the fear and stuff like this, right? Now, trying to finalize this monthly chart, if you remember, we are discussing what happened here in July 2018, right? That was the latest attempt of the rally, and then there was the big breakdown and, you know, huge move to the downside. Anyway, we were able to break through. Now, if you remember, I've been saying that 8,500, 7,800, right? That's where I see possible demand. But based on this monthly chart, you know, as of now, here in June 2019, there was a little bit move to the downside, but we held 50% of that zone. Let me show you. Right, we held 50% of that zone, and you know what? It was the close here from the July 2018, right? So in that case, it's quite positive. But what I'm gonna to show you is based on a smaller time frame, and why I think we are still have a chance to run away. So let me explain you. Let's switch to the weekly chart for a second. All right, let's switch to the weekly chart. And when we were moving away from that supply on the monthly, right, when we broke through, right, what is important here, guys, that before this break to the downside, that was the possible supply. And if you remember, before we break through 4,000, I told you that once we are going to break through that level, I'm not gonna be surprised if the market is not gonna look back. And I've been explaining that you know, if that would be the break, retest, that would be easier to try to join the party. But the move was so fast, just, you know, the retail people didn't wake up yet from that, right? So when they saw the break, we already been, you know, at 9,000. So everyone was waiting for, 6,000 pullback because we broke the resistance. So let's pull back to 6,000, 5,100. Guys, watch the earlier videos. I told you we are not, if that's gonna be real move, we are not gonna to look back, right? Now, we have on the weekly, rally based continuation, and that's where we are getting closer to what I wanna say. Right? Now, everyone is talking that, well, once we are going to break through this trend line, it's going to be horrible. That's gonna be that expected dump after the Bakkt launch and stuff like this, right? Well, I'm still quite positive, but I have my own conditions here. I'm still quite positive, but I wanna see some stuff under my conditions. Of course, it's not gonna look good with this, let's say, attempt to break to the downside from that possible flag. Of course, it's not going to look good. But because it's a weekly chart, I would like to see a attempt of that break right here, right now, today, tomorrow, right? But hello, Piotr, you've mentioned that it's gonna be positive Bakkt launch from your perspective. Yes, that's still the point here. I still think it's got the good chance to be positive. So why I wanna see today, tomorrow attempt to break lower? I wanna see lower shadow. I wanna see finally retest of this possible demand. We discussed it many times. I've been explaining, guys, let's go, let's do this, let's close this gap, let's have it done, and let's go higher from here. That's the big chance. Because doing this break to the downside, we are inviting some sellers here, right? And if the bulls are gonna be strong enough to push the prices higher towards the end of the week, creating the lower shadow, right, in trying to hold this line. So it's gonna be the false break to the downside. So if we have a false break to the downside, what next? I can try to show you. Hopefully that's gonna work that way. Yes, of course. We have to hold that zone, right? And it's on a weekly basis. So let's switch to the daily chart. So where we are now, I do believe that of course the higher time frame is much more important. On the daily, I see some negativity because, you know, here from the daily chart perspective, anyone is talking that this is a strong support, should be strong support because been tested many times, so it should hold. If there was some orders, many of them were filled already, right? So I would say rather that we have plenty of stops if market is looking for liquidity. I might be wrong, but that's how I would approach this one, right? What I don't like here on this daily, there is a possibility we are going to fall under own weight, and that's here on daily. It's well visible, but still maybe it's gonna be just stop hunt, right? Just to retest the blue from weekly and trying to run away from here. Because for now, and we were, you know, we are very often while doing educational live trading room, I'm using this type of the approach very often, right? Where some are looking for a flag, right? That very often, instead of the breaking to the upside from that formation, we are falling under our own weight, and it's looks completely different, right? That's what we were talking about quite a few times already. So trying to finalize Bitcoin. Let's switch to the hourly. Okay, well, moving and closing below 9,600, 9,500 on daily. It's going to look a little bit negative. That might create this fear and might bring the move down towards or below 9,000, towards this blue zone, which is a possible weekly demand. All right. So that's nothing extraordinary. In case you are trading short term, I think what I would wait for, in case you are not long yet, right? In case you are not long yet, probably I would wait. Let's switch back to the daily. I would wait for this stop count based on this green, of course, right here, green line. I would wait for this stop count. And what I would like to see, strong reversal at the same day, for example, right? Something like this, right? But it might happen on weekly. So if you are not long yet, then maybe the patient will pay. In case you are long, you have to be extremely careful. You have to actively monitor your position, and that's it. Talking about the levels, 10,000, 9,600, that's the zone, you know, bulls should at least try to hold. I've heard already that this 10,000, 9,600, that might be the new ahead of the breakdown, what happened on where we were at 6,000, right? That could be the case. That's why I found this possible demand on the weekly, and you know, I'm going to monitor to the upside. I think that the key right now is 10,800, 11,300. That's where we had the problems lately. As you can see, we are holding the swing high, right? Moving higher, so breaking through 10,800, 11,000, 11,300. Then we are talking about the swing high over here. And that's what actually I've been waiting for quite some time, right? So we are talking about these levels above 12,500. So, you know, a very slow market for now. So there is, you know, no rush to try to be one on the other side of the market right now. You know, let's wait. Market will show us probably what to do, and will prove that. So again, 10,000 is a key psychological level with a little bit downside to 9,600. In case of the daily close below, it might open finally 8,500, 7,800. And to the upside, the first supply is around 10,800, 11,000. That's how I see the things. But there is a positive development on Ethereum. Because when we fell below 180, 180, we had a discussion that it's, you know, it's gonna to be the challenge for the buyers, because as long as we are below 200, the low around 80 is open, right? Fortunately, previous week we saw attempt to break higher. Now, from the weekly chart perspective doesn't look great yet, but at least we did the first move, right? So there is a move back and retest what been already retested at the very beginning of the August, what was supposed to work previously as the demand, and for 2 weeks actually it worked well. I'm talking as a demand, I'm talking here and the next week, but then there was a breakdown, retest, continuation to the downside, and we are here we go again, right? So from that perspective, what we would like to see from the bulls perspective, that we are about to hold above 191, 180 again, right? So we are back here, right? So 191, 180, trying to hold above, especially this breakout candle over here, and maybe trying to consolidate 200, 230, and then start to work with this 240, 260. So let's have a look how it looks from the daily chart perspective. All right. So that's the nice late rally, and I've been trying to, look if it's just correction ahead of the continuation to the downside, right? But the size of this latest rally actually is the biggest when we are talking about this latest move to the downside. So that's quite positive development here. And yeah, again, even on daily, as you can see, it would be good to hold the 90. As of now, one can argue, Piotr, but it's nothing else, just a retest of this supply over here from where we were moving lower. But in my opinion, much more important is the range from the 11th. It's the range from the 11th of August, because from here we went lower. So right now we are trying on the daily chart. As of now, as you can see, there was an attempt to move lower. So I think that's consolidation of that level is quite important. So you know, always staying above the psychological level, in that case 200 is a quite positive development, but of course we have to hold 190, 180 in my opinion. So that's how I see the things on the Ethereum. Then let me make it a little bit different. Let's remove the background. Then if we just consolidate current levels and we will try to go higher, then what we have to break through and then try to hold is, as I mentioned, this 230, 240. Based on this swing high here, right? So that's gonna be key from the daily chart perspective. So as of now, let's say we are between 180 to 40, $60 to try to trade with. Pullback 190, 180, that's in my opinion, that might be the buying opportunity in between 195, 80, maybe that way, with the stop based on the daily close below 80, right? The first target is going to be 235. The second target might be something closer towards 265. Guys, do your own research. Please be careful. Do your money management properly. Don't be trapped. And see you around. It was my pleasure to be with you here today. Have a good one. Have a great rest of the day. Goodbye, guys.